Three, two, one, crack.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that sound means. It's time for another episode of A Beer in Review.
So pour it high and let it gleam. This is the podcast, Sip and Dream. Stay for the fun, we've got more to do. Oh yeah, it's A Beer in Review.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer in Review. This is episode 126, Wuthering Heights. And oh honey, I am Keith, and I am joined by my two co-hosts and pals, Mr. Luke Walker.
Hey, folks.
I tried to make that intro really sexy, and then my beer exploded all over me. So we're off to a fantastic start on the episode.
That beer was excited by this fucking movie that we're about to review.
Oh, boy.
Or maybe just from some of the scenes in it. If you are new.
Or all. Yeah.
If you're new to A Beer in Review, the concept is simple. We watched a movie, and we will review it. And we're going to drink a beer, and we're going to review that beer. Tonight, like I mentioned, we're watching and reviewing Wuthering Heights, and we're drinking us some honey blonde ale. But before we get to that, boys, let's take a ceremonial fucking swig. Happy Friday.
I'd love to. Happy Friday, everybody. Cheers to the world. Luke, what a beautiful honey beer.
Your honey beer is purple.
Yep, they sold it to me a little bit different. I didn't have time to go get the beer, and I can't do it, man. It's tearing me to pieces inside. All the beers they're just ruining my insides, and so I'm going with a wine tonight, which I feel like is fine. This is a wine movie anyways.
I would say this is a wine movie.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Gentlemen, last that I saw you was when I was leaving the table on a heater last Saturday night. How have we been since then?
That is true.
I'd say life couldn't be better. Basketball has been going well. I don't know if I told you this or mentioned it on the podcast, but I've been doing some yoga classes, and I've converted it into broga. So I've invited some of our fellow dudes, our fellow friends, to the broga class. So I'm really just spreading the good word, and maybe one day I'll be able to touch my toes. But I'm very excited to be on this journey.
Well, that's fun. I didn't get an invite. Guess I'm not one of the bros. Well, since I last saw you, future man, life has also been just, pretty great. We're on like high alert for baby. Keep thinking every night, every time my wife winces, I'm like, oh, here we go, and it just keeps not happening. But it is going to happen eventually. Probably sometime very soon.
It's got to come out at some point.
Yep, it's got to come out. And yeah, so but since I've last seen you, I've spent more than one day pretty brutally hungover. One of those days was today. One of those was obviously the day after we all hung out. I had quite the evening last night. Drank just a sneaky amount of wine, and today was a rough one. But now we're here. Right after this, I'm going to go to bed, and then life's going to be great tomorrow.
Yes, it will. I gotta admit, I was the slightest bit hungover on Sunday, but not really hungover. It was fucking beautiful.
That's great for you. I was barely functional.
Well, I also left a couple hours before you guys, and so I still got a decent amount of sleep and a few less drinks because of it.
It's true.
And
all true.
I doubled my money playing blackjack, which has not happened for me in a long time. So
these are all true facts.
Yeah. I am going to Vegas on Monday for a conference. Do I dare test my luck and see if I can double my money again?
Yeah. Minimum table is $40. You'll be fine.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, anyway, boys, so we watched this movie this week. We're going to talk plenty about it, I'm sure. But what else have you been watching? Lucas, I want to hear what you've been watching.
I don't think I've watched anything. I've been watching a ton of sports. I've been watching NBA playoffs. I've been watching some NHL playoffs. Been watching the Knights. I don't watch any other teams. I only watch the Knights. That's mainly been it. And then last night I spent the evening at the house of a local celebrity of sorts, a wealthy gentleman in town who has basically the coolest individual sporting memorabilia collection probably in the world. He literally has some of the sickest sports memorabilia pieces you could ever imagine. I mean, he has Barry Bonds' 762 home run ball. He's got 2 baseballs signed by 2 different popes. He had 4 Alabama national championship rings. He owns Messi's first childhood jersey. He owns the shorts that Conor McGregor last fought in, or his last win. I mean, he's got Babe Ruth's travel trunk that he used to travel around. I could go on forever and ever. It's literally like a museum in this guy's house. It's the craziest shit ever. So that was what my night consisted of last night, which was why I was behind on watching the movie, which is why I made you boys wait a little bit for me tonight. So I appreciate you. But yeah, haven't been watching much of anything other than sports.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Like I said, I've been taking Broga and playing basketball, so not a lot of watching. Unfortunately, only Wuthering Heights, but I am on my second watch, so I've been putting in work on that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. One of the main
This is the first 0 for 3.
And the reason, this is probably our worst. What have you been watching?
It's a slow movie season, and it's high intensity sports season.
We're all watching.
Yeah.
We're all kind of in the routine of work and kids, except for Lane, and then but wives at least, which is why I didn't really watch anything. My wife on Monday night goes, "Do you want to watch Wuthering Heights with me, the movie?" And I didn't even think of what movie it was. I was just like, "Yeah, sure," because rarely does she fucking watch movies with me because she falls asleep. So it took 3 nights to get this goddamn movie watched because
that's not she that falls crazy.
Asleep. The next night we started. She actually did watch a good portion last night, and then tonight, as we'll discuss later, she did fall asleep. But for reasons that we'll discuss. So I did eventually finish it, but yeah, other than this, have not been watching much, but I am itching to start a rewatch of a series. I did start Mad Men at one point a few months ago. I think I told you guys that. Maybe I will pick that up. I have also been pondering restarting The Wire because
everybody should do that every so often.
Love that show, and especially when basketball season, when the playoffs end and the Giants baseball sucks. So there's going to be no sports for me to watch at night. So I might as well start a rewatch of something. And right now it's going to be The Wire or Mad Men. So we'll see.
I feel like every 5 to 8 years is a good time to rewatch The Wire.
God, it's so good. Yeah, I think it's decided. The Wire. All right, boys. Let's talk about this fucking movie, shall we?
We
shall.
Unless there's anything else that we wanted to cover.
No.
Great.
Let's get into it.
Like I said, we're watching Wuthering Heights, released in 2026, directed by Emerald Farrell. Don't know if that's girl or guy. Starring Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie, among others that don't matter and are not recognizable enough. A 2 hour and 16-minute runtime. And fun fact that I didn't know because I am not a literati of sorts. Don't even know if that's the correct term. Based on the 1847 novel by Emily Bronte. And this was apparently her only novel.
I didn't know that.
You did know that, Mr. Goode.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. So her only novel. I did realize when I searched for this movie on our Amazon, there's been a lot of versions of this movie made before I had never fucking heard of it until now. I would assume the three of us are on the same page with that.
So it sounds like it's kind of like a Star is Born kind of a situation where they just keep remaking it and everyone kind of puts their own little spin on it.
Yeah, I had heard of the story. The wife had read the book recently within the last year or so and had given
She
me
loves
some
smut.
information.
She's a
Yeah,
smut lover.
and she hated the book and she refused to watch the movie with me. And when, I got her to start it this evening, and she was like, "This is also terrible." So she was out, but that's a whole different conversation.
Let's see how that affects your thoughts on the movie.
It's funny because Kyla reads so many books that she's the only person I ever hear of who hates books. Like most people don't read enough books to read bad books, right? Yeah. Like you read such a select few books that they're all good books. She reads so many that she's like, no, these ones suck.
Read
a lot of good ones as well, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
she just said how literati.
Yeah,
she is.
Exactly. I think you're starting a word there, but she just said how miserable all the characters are.
When you think about it, if you're reading books, you're only picking the books that you want to read.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I buy a bunch of random bullshit too. So
sounds like they did a good adaptation of the book. If all the characters are miserable in the book,
seems that way. All right, boys. So let's get to a plot synopsis. I'm gonna do real quick. The story is about starts with a young girl and a young boy who is basically adopted by the young girl's dad / hired / I don't know what. Kathy, and she names this boy Heathcliff after her dead brother.
Sure, why not?
Off to a hot start. The dad basically says that he is your pet and you can do whatever you want with him. Well, it turns into a friendship, a bond, and a love, and they grow up, fall in love, and then go their separate ways. Kathy marries a rich lord who is a neighbor who moved in there. Heathcliff comes back later on. They reunite, and it sparks quite the triumvirate of love, sex, weirdness, and darkness.
Depravity, degradation.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different adjectives that can be used for the things that go on.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the movie. But you know what? We got to start with first things first. Lane loves first scenes. Mr. Good, take it away.
All right. So the thing that we know about this movie, right, is it's got Jacob Elordi, grade A hunk. I think everyone's in agreement there. Yeah. We have Margot Robbie. My God, the queen of the country and the world. She is just gorgeous. So we get these two hotties, and the previews for this movie are all, this is going to be sexy, sexy, sexy. This is going to be the horniest movie of all time, right? And it starts with a black screen, and we get this this groaning, this dude groaning, and this squeaking. You're like, oh, this is going to be a horny movie. And then it opens up on a guy being hung in front of an audience. And you go, oh, wait a second. This might not be the horniest movie of all time. This might be a little bit darker than I think it's going to be.
Wait.
Yeah.
Because then that guy instantly gets a boner.
There you go.
So still horny.
Absolutely does. Still horny. And then, kids shouting out, there's nuns. They hang this dude. I really did like the close-up of the bag getting sucked into the dude's mouth. I thought that was super visceral. It just kind of hurt my soul watching it. And then everyone after it, everyone, the guy dies and we see the close-up of Kathy's face and we don't really know who she is. And she looks like she's being traumatized watching this. Everyone's kind of somber. And then when the guy dies, everyone goes absolutely apeshit and starts partying and having the time of their life and
banging in the streets. Yeah.
And touching everybody everywhere.
Horny again. Yeah.
Yeah. Hands are flying. I kind of loved it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought it didn't give us a lot of information, but it was a subversion of expectations. I expected horny. I got violent. And then I got horny again. It just threw me all over the spectrum. I thought it was an awesome opening. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Just kind of threw us right in there. And it was weird that they had the dialogue or the title was of Wuthering Heights was written in hair. It was like kind of creepy. And I thought that was kind of the finale of the beginning. I just thought that was an interesting kind of title piece.
I loved the breakdown. I loved how they do. Yeah, they throw you for a couple of turns, right? We think it's humping, it's really hanging. We think, oh, this isn't going to be as horny as I think. No, yes, it is. It's actually going to be significantly hornier than you think. And then I like when they do this thing. So this, I'll talk. I don't know. Maybe I'll just talk about it right now. It might come up later as well. But they do this thing in this movie where obviously we're in like, older times England, like the Yorkshire, whatever the fuck, whatever. You guys saw the movie. You know where we are. I like when they do these like old timey movies, and then they have modern like hype up kind of music going on. And it's a nice like. I don't know. I just like when they do that in this movie. It kind of starts. It's like this party, right, of these guys getting hanged. It reminded me a little bit of like in A Knight's Tale.
Yes.
When they like are playing the modern music right before one of the jousts, like that kind of a party, old timey vibe. So I agree, Lane. I thought the intro was pretty badass. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, first of all, this is one of the first scenes in a few episodes, I think, where we had a clear cut first scene.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Where there was no debate that when the first scene ended, which was fucking great. But
and it was cool that like it wasn't like tied to anything throughout the whole movie. It really was just a tone setter. Here we are in this world that's fucked up and horny.
And everyone's horny.
Yeah. Yep. It was great comedy. I got a few laughs when the kid talked about the guy having the boner. Yeah. And then the music, I was like, yeah, this is a fucking, we're jumping right in. Okay, here we go. I'm in. Did not expect that. I did not know what to expect from this movie, but I didn't expect a good fucking opening scene. So, well,
and hold on. Before we get into this movie too, I think it's important to clarify. This is the writer and director of Saltburn too. So we're getting some wacky, we're getting some horny, we're getting some weird.
This is a horny writer and director. Yep. I'll tell you what, man.
Weird.
Let's dive in. Keith, take us on a journey.
All right. Well, I mentioned the two main characters, but there are a lot of ancillary characters that play important parts in this movie, and we do need to discuss some of them. Let's have a character draft, boys. Lucas, pull up the number generator.
It's ready to rock.
We're going 1 to 25. Mr. Good, go ahead. Pick your fucking number.
I'm going to go number 4, Carnell Tate. That's our number 4 draft pick. Let's rock and roll. Tighten up.
Insane pick. I'm going to go with number 20.
We've got 20. We've got 4. I'm going to smack dab you right in the middle with number 12.
And the number is 11. So it'll be Keith, Lane, and then me.
This is a tough spot because I want to go a bit off the beaten path, but I feel like I can't. And I feel like I need to pick my number. Go with my heart. My heart follows Margot Robbie.
Yeah, attaboy.
My heart follows Margot. She is the main character. She is a good main character. She is a fun main character. She is a bitchy main character. And I always enjoy watching Margot Robbie on a screen. So she is my number 1 pick.
Keep it safe. Keep it simple.
Yeah, a lot of range of emotions for her. A lot of different, she's just doing it all. She's sex, she's awesome. She's crying a lot.
Yeah.
She's being a bitch. She's trying to be nice. She's being fun and cute.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. She does it all in this one.
I'm going to follow up with our man, Jacob Elordi. if I'm going to have the pick of the litter, he's just such a goddamn stud. What a rags to riches story this guy is. We start out, he doesn't even speak, and then somehow he gets rich. How? Who knows? Where does his fortune come from?
We'll get there.
Right? Who knows? Where does it go? Who knows? All we know is that this guy loves Margot Robbie, because who wouldn't? And he's just such a delight. I think out of the Euphoria cast, well, Sydney Sweeney's everyone's favorite, but I think Jacob Elordi is right up there as far as
Zendaya.
I don't like Zendaya as much as everybody else, but I think
you're a fool.
Thank you.
Jacob Elordi's taken some chances though. He's taken some swings. Like he's doing
nominated for best supporting actor, right? In Frankenstein,
as Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah. So I like what he's doing, and the fact that he was in this, also Saltburn. I mean, we cannot really compare these two because they're not very similar, but we have a Coogler and Michael B. Jordan where they're making Creed and Sinners. You know, they got kind of this partnership, although it's not really as good. We do have Saltburn and this connection, and maybe they start building.
It's a very horny thing going with rather than. You know,
I'm just throwing out suggestions. It's up to you guys to.
Sure. I'm into it. Lure. I like it. Good picks there. So I'm just gonna take these two off the board. I think pretty easy picks. I'm gonna go with Isabella, the ward. What does that
dog.
mean?
I think it's like a right hand man, you know.
But like, what is her relationship to Edgar?
I thought she was Edgar's sister.
That's kind of what it seemed like too. Yeah. So maybe. So anyways, we get introduced to her. She's at first she's just like this very annoying, innocent, just awful. Just get out of here, you know. And then we see her grow. We see her grow into each other or into herself, especially when she gets lays some eyes on old Heathcliff. That really fires up some things in her loins, and she immediately starts calling Margot a dog in a manger, or Kathy a dog in a manger. And then she has the scene where Heathcliff comes into her room, and she's just like all about it. And then you see this very interesting look on her face when they get married, and he just walks away without kissing her, and you can see she's very sad about it. But then we go through like the montage of the way he treats her in the house, and her having to write the letters, and then she kind of is snapping at him about like, oh, that's right, you can't write the letter, like kind of getting on him a little bit. And then she's a dog and she's into it. Like, what a character arc for Isabella. So that's a good easy pick for me there. And then I guess I'll go with Nellie, who's kind of our
damn you.
Yeah, she's kind of our like servant lady who's just kind of she's pulling strings in the background. She's kind of conniving. She's got her own agenda. She feels, I think, slighted from when she was a kid, and Kathy and Heathcliff wouldn't include her and stuff. And she was always kind of like just having to be, working basically. And so she pulls some strings from the shadows, and an important character. So I'll take her.
I nearly took Nellie number 1 because I feel like she is the glue holding this story together / breaking it all apart.
Mm-hmm.
All because she was basically hired to be Kathy's friend, it seems like.
Her ward, right? Scene, like her Isabel to Sir Linton.
She runs from the hanging to the house, and they're hanging out with Kathy and all this stuff. And the dad mentioned something about paying Nellie to basically be her friend. And then here comes fucking Heathcliff and takes her away. And Nellie, for the rest of her life, just is steaming and mad at Kathy, and is now just, basically a fucking servant. And then basically she's the reason that Heathcliff leaves. She is the reason that
the letters don't get sent at the end.
She is the reason. She tells on Kathy to Edgar about the relationship behind his back, because Kathy found out that she had every breaking off point in this movie that leads to the other chain of events happens because Nellie is a petty ass bitch.
Yep, she is.
Hey, but she's also the only halfway decent person in the movie.
It's possibly true. She also doesn't report that the baby may have died.
Exactly. Leads to her death. Every
And then the
single
baby
decision
definitely
she makes
dies. So
leads to worse things happening.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I'm going to pick the father of Kathy.
Good.
I don't remember what his name was.
Good fun choice there.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and
Jesus.
pick the next fun story.
Mr.
where we see
Earnshaw.
This guy, there we go. Mr. Earnshaw absolutely crumble into an alcoholic spiral, if you will. And it's very dark and depressing. And when we first see him, he's stern, right? We don't really see him. And then he starts getting aggressive and abusive. And then we start seeing him like, I don't want to spend my time with you. I want to go to the bar. And then he starts getting a little bit more violent. And then there's like a break, and then his teeth are all yellow. He's all fucked up. And then his death scene, the shot of that, of him being face down or face up, and literal bottles being piled up in both corners. That shot will stick with me in movie history for the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, it was just something that, I don't drink that much. There's no beers in my corner, but it's just a very impactful shot that shows you how much this guy drank and how much it ruined his life in that fast. And then the fact that he dies by vomiting into his own mouth, I think that's kind of what we get. And then how
we all wish that we'll go out
exactly, which
peacefully in our own
sleep.
Drunken yeah.
But he was a captain of this story, although the story wasn't about him. Interesting character and just a brutal way to go out.
Yeah. Not much left to choose from. I could go with our boy Edgar, but Edgar's pretty lame, so I don't want to pick him. I'm gonna go with Joseph, who was
the barn.
Another servant-ish, I guess.
Do you guys recognize him?
Well, this was going to be the other reason that I picked him.
Yeah,
is that a Game of Thrones guy?
Him, but as I was looking through the cast,
House of Dragons,
he is young Aegon Targaryen from House of a Dragon.
There we go.
Which we will be watching come June.
I believe he's Prince Aemond, but yes.
Is he Aemond or Aegon?
He's Aemond. He's the
Aemond.
The eye patch. Yeah, the
eye patch one.
Eye patch.
Yeah.
The one who is now going to be
possibly
a king. Who knows? Yes, Aemond. Yeah. Sorry. All right, boys. Solid character draft. Let's fucking talk this movie. I don't know if you guys have a place that you want to start.
I would like to talk about, because Lane mentioned something there that I think is a huge positive in this movie, that the shot of when he's laying dead and there's the bottles, there's a lot of really just awesome shots,
unbelievable
cinematography. Like, there's some still shots that you could take of this movie that I think you could hold up against most movies, right? I'm not
one of the ones that sticks with me, I'm just watching it right now for an example, is the one where Heathcliff is leaving the city and he's on the horse and the background is red and it shows him kind of silhouetted, and it's sick one. This is the cover of a 90s fuck novel. You know what I'm saying? This is something you'd see on the bookshelves of a CVS and your grandma's picking it up. This is just prime, studs banging.
Some other good ones, when she's kind of having her meltdown at the end, when Edgar's berating her, telling her to get her shit together, but she's laying on the steps, and then it zooms out and there you can just see her at the bottom of the steps, and there's the arched doorway.
Yeah,
just such a sick one. There's one where she's crying and throwing a fit, blabbering on, but she's laying down and she's got the big red dress that's all around her, and we got the big way high up view down on her. I mean, there's so many of them that I
all the shots of where they live, the scenery where they live amongst the hills there,
the cliffs and
that goes through, and the cliffs.
Yeah,
amazing shots.
There were so many sick ones, and to me, the reason I just said to do that, wanted to talk about that now, one, because Lane had mentioned one of the cool shots, and just like, I think that was the most, other than the sheer horniness, the most memorable thing about this movie were some of those really cool shots.
And I think the sets also played into that because they're so dramatic, and the costumes and the colors. And I mean, we need to mention, okay, this is how weird this movie is. They make a room that's based off of the skin tone of Margot Robbie. Okay, let's go ahead and hit that. So
that's a
the
thing.
sets and the tone and the vibe and the feel, I loved all of that. I mean, it's dark when it needs to be. It's bright at the very beginning when we first get introduced to the Lintons, and they're rich, and it's super vibey and colorful, and Margot Robbie's all the way in. And then as she's getting out on the relationship, it slowly gets darker, and even the weird skin room that she's living in, as she, spoilers, gets sick and dies, the skin color on the walls also get dark. I mean, it's cheesy-ish, but also it works. This is a movie that's not going out to be something spectacular, but I think it does a really good job of what it's trying to be. Am I wrong? I mean, the sets and designs and the costumes,
no, the sets
right?
and the designs and the shots are immaculate. And yeah, dude, the room of her skin, when he points out the freckle and then they kind of zoom in and she's looking at it and like standing next to it.
And Jacob Elordi licks it at one point.
Veins in the fucking skin too, and
that's the gross part.
Yikes!
The veins is too much. I don't want veins in my wall.
Yeah, but it's a Shakespearean time. Literally, Isabella talks about Romeo and Juliet nonstop.
Yeah, once she started talking about that, I was like, this movie is not going to end well.
Yeah, and so yeah, it Shakespearean times, the costumes, the settings, all of that fits.
Okay, I got something I want to talk about. Well, we talked about the costumes, we talked about the sets. Let's talk about this relationship between these two, right? Because that's what the whole movie is about.
Exactly where I was going to go and where we need to go.
Because you're a goddamn dog. Lucas, do you have anything to mention about the sets, costumes, or anything visually in that aspect?
Yeah, all very good. It's it's not the first time we've seen a movie from like this era or whatever, so they've got it down pretty good. But like,
it kind of reminded me of like Poor Things, right?
Yeah. I thought it was good. Honestly, there's a couple movies that I've seen recently. Hamnet actually was one where like there was a few things like costume wise that I was like, I can't see somebody from that era wearing that. That seems, and I never had like that thought. So I think that when you don't have to think about the costumes or this like the accuracy of the stuff in a movie, that is a sign that it's really good, that it's not distracting you from the movie. So
yeah, do we think it gets any kind of recognition come Oscar season, sets or costumes, boys?
Maybe
it has to, right? These are nuts.
Yeah, maybe it's really early.
They throw Margot Robbie in so many different quick scenes and so much fashion and wild shit. It has to.
I mean, look, for the costumes and some of the cinematography stuff, if this movie got nominated, I wouldn't be surprised. But typically, movies that get nominated for the awards don't come out this early in the year. That's
fair.
Yeah.
Touche.
Okay, so I want to talk about the relationship between these two because it's weird, right? That we get introduced to Heathcliff. Let's go ahead and put that in quotations now, because he's kind of like a orphan boy who's up for sale and gets kind of picked up and is like not a brother figure, but this person they grow up together.
See him with his dad leaving.
I don't think that's his. Is that his dad? That might not even be his dad.
I think it was his dad. I thought it was too. And then
his dad like pissed at him and beating him.
And then Earnshaw basically says like, I saw a guy beating his son and I told him you can't do that. And so he said, then you take him. So I did.
Exactly.
And there we go.
Exactly what it is.
And it's weird to be, the relationship starts out very weird because she's teaching him how to read, and it's it's very complicated, but somehow there's kind of always this romantic tension. Maybe because we know the movie turns horny, but it's really weird because they're basically brother and sister, right? Like, why are we rooting for this?
That's where the naming him after her dead brother stuff is like, that's an odd tone.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a lot of, I don't know that I felt the sexual tension when they were kids.
Not when they were kids.
It seemed to me very, very.
But we know the movie's about these two being horny, right? Like,
you always know they're gonna get horny for each other, but
for sure,
when they're kids, it seemed innocent enough to me.
Yeah, it was innocent.
It just makes it so weird.
I didn't. Besides the name thing, I didn't think the relationship as kids was weird.
Okay.
Especially when he gets whipped by her dad and gets beaten, and she's there to support him.
Love whipping. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, but I know, in all seriousness, I did love the fact that the transition from the young kids to the older was through the bloody shirt into the scars. I was like, and they kind of flash back and forth. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of things that this movie does really, really well. And that was one of them, to transform it into just fucking honky ass Jacob Elordi.
So so fast forward, they're adults here. The love is starting to sprout. We can tell. The other family moves in next door, the Lintons, they got moolah.
That textile money.
Yeah, that textile money.
Whatever that means.
And so it's like it talked about that, like Kathy marrying the guy, because obviously that's how shit went down in these days.
Of the times.
It was like you marry into the rich family and now you become rich and all that shit. You know, like that's basically
she's good genes, they say.
But obviously her and Heathcliff have this love. It comes to a head. Edgar, she goes to fucking their house. She finds their house. They see her. She sprains her ankle climbing the wall or whatever. They take her in for 6 weeks.
Yeah, that was strange.
That's weird, first of all.
It's like, hey,
crazy.
Thank you for trespassing on our
our
property. Sorry you got hurt. Now you live here.
And and the family doesn't like go look for her. I get that they just assumed she was there.
He was pretty drunk.
Anyway, so then she comes back, and then Edgar comes and proposes. And this is when it all comes to a head, right? So Heathcliff leaves. She's living with the Linton. She's married to Edgar. You can tell there's hope that Heathcliff will come back. We've gone a couple years out. I think the final tally was 5 years that he was gone. Mm-hmm. Now he comes back. Now, Lane, let's fucking talk about it. He comes back. He's dressed really well. He's clean shaven. He's got a haircut. He has
an earring.
He's got a tooth. He's got a metal tooth.
He went and got some grills. Call me George Foreman because I'm selling everybody grills. And she invites him to dinner, and she asks for his story, what he's been doing for the last 5 years.
What a weird invite to dinner.
Yeah.
Right? Totally like awkward. Here's my like adopted brother slave / clearly we want to bang guy. Yeah. Come to dinner.
Yeah.
With my husband, guy, honey. Yeah. Okay. So back to the fucking topic here though. How?
Yeah. I mean, if they would have given us anything, literally I could have taken a sentence. I would be like, okay, great, then move on. But they don't give us.
Fake.
All they had to say was textiles.
Guy, stole his clothes, and fucking like. And
I would have loved that way more if it was all fake. That would have been badass.
And perhaps he was a male gigolo.
Possibly.
No, that would have made sense.
That's how we.
But it is kind of wild that they just kind of what is it? Queer eye for the straight guy. Shave his beard and put some makeup on him and do his hair right and give him a piercing
too.
Yeah,
they turn him into Jacob Elordi.
Yeah, exactly. And they send him out on his way. I would have loved a little bit more, especially because he ends up buying Wuthering Heights, which is the name of the house, and then the fact that he just doesn't do anything with it. It's just he leaves it a shithole and
Yeah, he's
it
just living
gets
in the
really-
squalor.
Exactly. It's like, okay, does this guy have money? What are we doing here? This is a 2 hour and 20-minute movie. I would have loved to at least touched on that part of it because it felt like
I
there was a
think
lot we were
though,
missing.
but I think though the whole thing is that like he's pretty tunnel visioned,
For sure.
about Kathy. Like he doesn't care about he lived in squalor his whole life.
Yeah.
He's not uncomfortable living in squalor. The whole going out and getting rich and getting hot thing was so that when he came back, he could win her over, from her rich husband. So
But
I
just
think,
give us something.
yeah,
I just
a
wanted to
general, just a general
Like you
industry
said,
that he was in.
textiles.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, we don't know what that means, so sure.
Yeah.
It
Could be child
Shipping.
trafficking. I mean,
Yeah.
just give me something to root for this guy.
He was involved in
I'm in
shipping
latex.
and latex.
I'm a latex salesman.
Yeah, it could have been anything. It wouldn't have mattered, but
Yeah, dude, it really did bug me. Like, I
We-
want to know. I would have been happy if it came out that he just murdered a rich guy, stole his fucking clothes, and came back. Like,
so what's crazy to me about this movie is the last hour, because basically it's about an hour, pretty close to almost exactly an hour from when he comes back to the end of the movie. And so that the first hour 20, right? The first half plus was all the stuff we've talked about up to this point. Everything happens in the last hour.
100%.
A lot of shit is happening. Most of it is sex.
A good
Most of
chunk is sex in different locations, different positions. I mean, they're all over the place.
Different weather patterns, like different, all kinds, all the sex, all the different ways. Yeah, there's a lot of sex being had. It's the last hour is the horniest thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah. Once they started sitting in the eggs and they were like feeling through the eggs and rubbing the dough, and I was like, oh yeah, this food's really getting it going. I tell you what.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's just like
The
when does
last
it
hour
end?
is the movie,
Yeah.
which is funny because my wife fell asleep like right before the last hour, so she missed basically all this because she was bored. But yeah, the whole last hour is now he's back. They start banging.
A lot.
She is pregnant and not telling him that she is pregnant. Shit, which leads to him one night. It's after she finds out what Nellie did.
Yeah. So and then Nellie tells
And then
Linton.
Nellie tells Edgar.
Yep. Edgar forbids her from seeing him
Exactly.
anymore.
So he sneaks onto the property, and now they have a hot and heavy on the fucking kitchen table. But Heathcliff starts saying, I'll fucking kill Edgar. I'll go in there right now and fucking murder him. I'll drink his blood.
Yeah.
We're getting dark, which freaks her out, as it should.
Very depraved sex going on. That's because they're like banging while they're
We've been
talking
building
about
up
this.
to this, guys. Come
Yeah.
on. That's just dirty talk 101.
But after the sex is over, he says, like, do you want me to go in his room right now and snap his neck? I'll do it. It's like, okay. We've taken a wild turn. Not even a wild turn. Like, kind of an expected turn. But
Sure.
it's getting fucking dark.
We've escalated the risk here.
So here's...
Yeah.
So after that, she tells him it's over. And this is when he brings in Isabella. Now, granted, that storyline does get fucking weird and does get dark. He fucking basically turns Isabella into his, like, personal fucking sex slave dog, mind control.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he
that's
does.
That's some R. Kelly shit.
Yeah.
real fucking
She
weird.
is. She is loving it.
She's into it. The girl's
It
never
was inside of her all along, and she never knew it. That's what she's into, and she found out what she's into, and good for her.
When Nellie fucking asks her if she wants to go home, and she
She
says
gives that little wink.
She says no and
She
winks at her.
says,
like,
I am,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I am home, and gives her the wink. I was like, oh, this girl is a freak.
That's so fucking wild. But here's my question. Because when
Can I have her number?
So when he starts talking about killing Edgar, would you have rather gone down that path where like he goes real fucked, shit gets way darker, and he's like
I think
stalking, murder, that type of shit?
I don't think at the time I was thinking that that's what I wanted. After having seen what actually does happen, I think I might have liked to seen that version of the movie
At the
where
time, I wanted it.
where he murders Edgar and then God knows what happens from there. But I wouldn't mind seeing that version.
I didn't go that route, and I was fine without it. I thought, I mean, I like, as we've talked about through 125 episodes, 126 episodes, I like it when a story ends dark. So either way, either he kills.
Well, that'd have been pretty dark.
Yeah, what are we
Well,
talking
sure.
about?
Well, I mean, it doesn't end very happy, Keith. Spoilers.
Yeah, I know, still, but not as dark.
For sure. I just love when a movie ends, not very happy. So either one of those, I would have been satisfied. And thankfully, I was with this movie.
Yeah. So I mean, what ends up happening is, yeah, he marries Isabella, all that shit. He's sending letters to Kathy that Nellie throws away, and Kathy, after she finds out that he married Isabella, locks herself in her room. The baby dies, but she tells Nellie, and Nellie thinks she's fucking lying when she's not.
Because she's been dramatic. Granted. Honey, for 2 hours.
Can't blame Nellie for that, for not believing her, but still, at least should have maybe told, her husband. And so she eventually fucking dies because of it.
She just stops eating and whatever, gets like sepsis or something.
And they put leeches on her. Let's go ahead and mention that.
They did put leeches on her, yes.
What was with the leeches on the wall? What was going on there? Did they think
because the leeches on its skin, it's a metaphor.
Eventually they'll crawl onto the skin. It's modern medicine of the fucking 1500s, whenever Shakespeare was fucking alive, dude. That shit.
Again, another crazy visual, another crazy shot was when it zoomed back and it's her with the leeches all over her and the wall,
still, like wrapped around her.
Yeah, and then it zooms out and they just like pour blood out. It's like, oh, this movie does a lot of things very, very well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, and then we have the final scene where, oh man, Heathcliff, even when she's dead and cold and blue, still horny for her.
Still trying to get those lips in, man.
Yeah, which is it's an emotional scene. There's some crazy tension and emotion between the two of them in a number of different scenes where they're like mad at each other but clearly in love and insulting each other and saying they hate each other.
Like borderline violent.
It's very toxic.
Yeah.
An incredibly toxic relationship.
But at the same time, it's also very like you're still rooting for it, right? We were all rooting for it. We were all rooting for them to like figure it out and make it happen.
I was kind of rooting for him to turn into a fucking psychopathic murderer, but yes, I was rooting for.
We're never rooting for Edgar. Get fuck Edgar.
No, absolutely not. This is not a Team Jacob, Team Edward situation.
No, I wasn't rooting for Isabella for most of it, and then I was very much so.
Dude, Isabella might be the best character.
That's a crazy journey she goes on.
I mean, the
obviously that was not in the book.
The dog scene alone was fucking.
The dog scene alone, yeah. When he was feeding her bread, it was like, okay, we've gone too far.
I don't think she thought it had gone far enough. I think she was ready to keep going.
Like, give me dog treats. What are you doing with bread?
Yeah, what is this? What is this dog? This human food? Give me an old rabbit or something.
Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, dude. I don't know if I have anything else to discuss. Lane, I'm sure you have more.
I don't have too much more, to be honest with you. I thought that this was just a wild journey of these two characters. They were both fucked up. Do we have anyone that we can think of that was a good character that didn't do anything bad? I think the only one maybe is Isabel because the dad's a drunk. Kathy, which is obviously a terrible old-fashioned 1500s name, Kathy, but
Catherine.
Yeah,
sure,
but no one was Kathy.
No one was Kathy back then.
There was lots of Catherines, but no one was Kathy.
Everybody, literally everyone, is a piece of shit in this story. Nellie is not Isabel. She gets treated
Nellie's
like a piece of shit, but
not a piece of shit, but like Nellie's just
she's just like a jealous person,
like,
and jealousy
fuck
doesn't
you
make you a
guys.
piece of shit.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
That's been I've been screwed here out of
Yeah.
a friend,
Yep.
thrown to the side. She's just bitter, which
Yep.
I don't blame her for.
I don't blame her either. But
I do have to say,
everybody else,
the dad was fucking funny, man.
he was funny.
He may have been a drunk. He may have gambled away all of their money. He may have beat Heathcliff a few times, but the guy was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. For the most part, he was only a danger to himself.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it's an interesting that you can make. I do like that they're making a story that's about all these toxic, shitty people, but they surround it by beautiful dresses, beautiful houses, beautiful flowers, and all this kind of pretty stuff. And we slowly see the facade fade away until we get to death and destruction and sadness and nothing.
It's the pomp and circumstance, That's what it is. That's what these stories are about. Just because you have nice things doesn't make you a nice person.
This is true.
Although
good, because I don't have any nice things.
Heathcliff didn't have nice things. He got some somehow. I'm just gonna fucking tell myself that he murdered a rich dude and stole his shit.
Yeah, that would have made it better. Just the slight suspicion of that would have been nice.
And he probably didn't even need to buy Wuthering Heights. He probably even lied about that. Like he just
the drunk guy would have taken some peanuts for it.
Sold this house or not? Yeah. All right, boys, that's a fucking movie. I got nothing else.
I got nothing else either.
Find out what this movie
is.
Made.
I am very curious because the sets look practical, the outfits look practical. Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi. I think we didn't mention that the whole soundtrack was created by Charlie XCX. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, so that was
35 years old.
Yeah, I don't know who or what that is. But like I mentioned earlier, where you have the modern music over the very old timey movie, it was pretty badass. I was digging it, man.
It was all that one lady.
Yeah, I was very into the. What is it? It's like a. How would you describe that? It's almost like a house music-y, electronic,
chill.
Something like
chill house music, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not very good at music.
Yeah, chill electronic something. God. I don't know.
I'm watching this scene right now where Jacob Elordi first comes back and he's all clean shaven and tan and just like, ugh, what a fucking stud. But yeah, it's all vibes.
So Lane's about to get down on all fours and start barking.
Yeah, exactly. Put a metal bar in my mouth. This movie had to have cost a ton of money. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think it made it back. But in order to get that information, we need to talk to the money man. Lucas Walker, please make the dollars make sense.
Well, I would say that you are right. It did cost a ton of money. This has an estimated budget of $80 million.
Ooh, that's less than I would have thought.
I mean, I kind of understand where you're coming from, but 80 million for a movie where there's not explosions or car chases or gunfights or any sort of CGI, that kind of thing. 80 million is still kind of on the high end for really what is dresses. Just sets and dresses and actors and actresses in cool locations, right? And it's like they shot this in Yorkshire, England, right? So it's like they just kind of were using, I assume, natural locations and things like that. So 80 million, I would say, is still pretty much on the high side. This movie opened in the United States and Canada the weekend of February 15th. So Valentine's weekend. People were horny, I'll tell you what. 33 million on the opening weekend. So not quite half, but pretty close to half its budget. Gross worldwide box office since inception, 240 million.
Oof.
Wow.
No, not oof. That's 3x its budget.
Yeah. Well, that's 20
Yeah.
people. That's what I'm saying.
That's a lot of horny people. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of Isabellas out there, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No. So
Wolf,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'd say 3x budget in 2.5 months in the box office. Plus now it's on Amazon Prime, renting for $10 or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and give that an A. This movie performed very well.
All right, boys. I need to ask this question. We've asked it via group text. We're here in the podcast now for the world to hear it. Are movies back? Or is 2026 the year that movies are back? If this movie right here can pull in $200 million on an $80 million budget, just a horny, romantic Jacob Elordi, Margot Robbie movie that's not based off of an IP that we know, it's not a sequel or a redo or whatever.
It's a redo.
You got a money maker. Well, it's not really.
I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. Is that good signs, right? We have a lot of movies out this year.
Movies are trying to come back. The problem and what was the last movie we went and saw in theaters? Because it was packed. On like a Tuesday. On like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. It was packed. And that's a great example of movies being back, right? So I think movies are very much trying to come back, but I feel like what is going to inhibit that journey is just the fact that there's so many straight to streaming movies. I don't know what we do with that. I don't know how that factors in. I don't know how that works, because I think part of what made movies, certain movies and movie going such a big thing was the monoculture aspect, right? There were movies that you had to go see this movie, right? The Barbenheimer was really one of the last ones that was if you're going to the movies, you're going to see one of these movies. And when everything is straight to streaming, there's no ability for us to all, everybody to agree on what is the movie to watch, right? Maybe The Rip was a decent one. I think a lot of people watched The Rip, right? But probably a shitload of people never even heard of it and didn't watch it.
But I
don't know.
I kind of disagree, because I think now, because I do think movies are back. I do. I have to say. I'll get that out of the way now. But I think part of it is, yes, there's a lot of straight to streaming movies, but I think that makes the movies that are going to theaters that much more special and elevated, and more people are going strictly for those movies. Because all the movies that you see going to theaters all the time, you still have a lot of trash ones. But
there's also this weird thing where theaters, for sure. But there's also this weird thing, and I don't know if this is just a Reno thing or if this is all theaters, but if you look on Fandango or the Cinemark app or whatever, all these theaters are showing old movies. There's at least one not new movie, just random movie that's in the theaters.
I think there's a distinction. What is that? I think there's a distinction.
Kind of sick. I like that.
It's sick, but
who's going to see those?
I think the reasoning is there's the distinction between movies are back, as in people want to go see real movies. They make them for the theaters specifically, as opposed to streaming a lot now. Movie theaters themselves are still a struggling fucking business.
That's a good distinction. I think that's
and so they bring in these old movies to try and drive fucking business. A lot of them are still recovering from fucking COVID. A lot of them need to they've all gone to the comfy fucking seats, and now they serve alcohol. They're trying everything they can to get butts in fucking seats on a more consistent basis. So movie theaters in general as a business, I think, are still struggling. They're offering subscription, basically monthly fucking dues that you guys are members of.
They got me.
It's what I do like about that is it shows you on your app how much money you've saved by using the app. And I'm it's a plus EV move. I've saved money.
So there you go.
Not very much, $40 total in a year, but whatever.
Movies are back, but movie theaters need to figure out their shit. And I think starting is make it more affordable.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of money. I said that who the hell's going to see those movies just like a week or two ago. My mom took my boys and all the cousins to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2
There you go.
Revenge of the Ooze or something
Oh,
like
dude,
that. The 35th
Oh, yeah.
anniversary.
There you go.
35th anniversary. So people do go see those apparently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And dude, like we took our kid to the new Super Mario movie.
Yeah.
Also packed.
Yeah. We went and saw Zootopia
Packed with
2
families.
not
Zootopia
that long
2.
ago.
Yep.
Packed. Yeah.
Exactly. Movies are back, boys. And I love it. We
They're
love
on their way back for sure.
I'm
on their way
curious
back. But
about
movie theaters as a business do have to get their shit together.
Disclosure Day and Odyssey. I think those will be two big tellers on
Disclosure
how
Day.
Yeah, Odyssey's gonna
the
be a
movie
fucking
theater.
We
big
might
one.
need to go see the Odyssey. Like
we're going to see both of those.
Opening
indeed.
night.
I want to see Odyssey the Thursday
That's what I'm saying.
opening
I
night
think we need to-
before opening day. Like
whenever that date is, I think we need to put it on our calendars now, and we need to go.
yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
Well, that's
I'll bring-
Wuthering Heights.
I'll bring the baby with me.
Oh, boys. That's Wuthering Heights. Lane, you're about to take a sip of your beer. I'm going to fucking take a sip of mine because I'm thirsty. And I'm drinking this honey blonde ale that this bartender has served me.
Oh, honey.
And I am curious about it. So I'm going to pull up a stool. I'm going to go meet up with said bartender. We're going to go to the beer corner with Mr. Good.
Welcome to the Beer Corner, ladies and gentlemen. Not boys and girls, because you need an ID to be at the Beer Corner. This is from the website. I should have posted here. Let me go ahead and present for everybody because that's just how we do here because we're professionals. We are drinking, again, Oh Honey from New Glory Craft Brewery. This golden ale keeps things light and refreshing. It's brewed with real honey for a hint of raw character. Honey malt brings a backbone of flavor without slowing down the clean, crisp finish. Why is the F in finish capitalized? That's for you to decide. It's the kind of beer that stays cool while everything else gets loud. Coming in at 5.3%, this is a honey blonde ale. You can get it in 16-ounce cans, which is what we got it in a 4-pack. I don't have very much information about the brewery as far as when they were developed, but I do see a lot of their beers on display at Total Wine. I see their gummy worms. They're a little very close to picking this golden bell here. I just haven't pulled the trigger on that, but they do have very popular beers that pop your eye. As far as their story, here's what I've got for you. We at New Glory Craft Brewery, we are a group of passionate and science-driven creators who don't take ourselves too seriously, in quotation or parentheses, just our craft. Our brewing schedule is dictated by the season, our moods, and ingredients availability. We love to experiment, play with new flavors, and push against the boundaries. Our approach to brewing is that, well, beer is meant for drinking. We like to focus on the seasonable-ish hop-driven ales and sometimes big, bold flavors, stouts, and porters, but no style is out of our reach. We like to think we have a really long arms. Long story short, we're a bunch of crazy, fun weirdos who are committed to the craft of brewing. We've got that spunky curiosity to push flavors, paradigms, and surprise your palate. We also like to please the eyes with our rad, ever-changing can designs. Nice to quote, meet you, the New Glory crew. So sounds like a very fun, interesting group of dudes and people. And I like that they don't give us too much information, but they give you kind of what they're about. They like to experiment. They like to be unique and flashy. And their beers are, well, we'll talk about that shortly. I think we should jump to Lucas, right? Do we want to get to your beer review?
Yeah, I didn't drink it, so 10 out of 10.
Oh, 10 out of 10. Beautiful. Keith, what did you think?
Oh, this beer's not even close to a 10 out of 10.
Nope.
I was I don't know if I would call it intrigued or worried when I saw that it was a honey beer. If it was a worry, my worries were confirmed. It does not taste very good. It's fine. It's a beer. I'm here to drink some beer. It's a Friday night. I was looking forward to drinking beer,
Yep.
but it's a beer that I don't want to ever drink again. I'll give it like a 5. That did, and even like trying to give it a honey flavor. I guess I can kind of taste the honey, but it's pretty shitty honey. Maybe we just shouldn't be adding honey to our beers.
It's probably a good
And
rule.
let me tell you, boys, we've discussed this. It's hard to make a bad beer. We almost jinxed ourselves a couple episodes ago because we've been giving our beers like 8s, 9s off like over and over. And we said it's hard to not give a beer a fucking high grade. Well, Lane, congratulations. You found the beer that we're not giving a fucking high grade to. Good for you. It gets a 5.
Keith, I'm kind of disappointed that you would diss my beer like that because I really went out of my way. I thought it was kind of tying into. There was a beer that we had earlier from Mulholland Drive.
You kept saying like the "oh honey" thing? Like, was that what?
Just because that's something that you would say to like a girl who is just constantly crying all the time, like "oh honey," like enough of that. You know what I mean? Like just someone.
That's
who's just
such an amazing.
That's one hell of a fucking stretch.
That's really good.
That's like a 49ers draft pick right there. You are stretching, my friend.
There was the Young Lovers, which obviously popped out, but we did that.
That would have been much better. It probably would have been a better tasting beer as well.
It was. I'm sure
so,
you'd go through.
I know that you'd pick the beer almost every week, and I usually approve, but this is one of your worst picks.
And I will go ahead, Keith, and strongly Psych. I will agree with you. This beer is terrible, boys. This is not a good beer in the slightest.
I'm very
jealous
of Lucas's wine this evening.
Yeah, I want to explore the beer range this season because usually we drink a beer and it's like, yeah, this is good or great or it's pretty simple.
I get it. Yeah,
Keith, you're right. This is bad. I'm gonna say
the problem with exploring beers when you're trying to not get beers that are 8 or 9s. That means you're exploring for beers that are going to give you 7s, 6s, 5s, 4s. That means we're not going to be drinking good beer.
And I just had a 4 on
4. You're giving, it's drinkable.
Terrible.
That's the thing.
It's barely drinkable.
Drinkable, but it's definitely.
But it is terrible. The aftertaste is bad.
Yeah.
The forward taste is bad.
Yeah,
there's part of me always wants to reach out to these breweries and like ask them questions and try and get some fun stuff for the beer corner. But then I just taste this beer.
What made you decide to make a shitty honey beer?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I will not be reaching out because I do not enjoy this.
I don't think New Glory will be sponsoring the podcast anytime soon.
Not
unless
this episode.
If they do, we'll change our rankings. We'll
10.
There we go. Exactly. Come on the pod. Tell us why you decided to make this beer. Give us some better beer. We'll give you another shot.
There we go.
And all right, some money our way too.
Are you ready, Keith?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am ready. Let's play America's favorite game. It's time for some rotten guesses.
All right, where are we going, Keith? You're our host.
I usually feel like I pick Lane to go first on all of these things when I host. But because Luke did not have to drink this shit beer, I'm going to make him go first tonight. Lucas, what do you think for rotten guesses? This is an interesting one.
This is an interesting one. It's a tough one. This is another movie I think it could land on a very wide spectrum, right? I don't know that there's necessarily like a easily predictable floor or ceiling here. So for the critical score, the tomato meter, I feel like critics are going to like this movie. I'm going to go with an 87. I feel like some uncultured swine audience members maybe will get too caught up in the sheer horniness, which I could understand. I wouldn't bash you too hard for getting, you know, a little bit bogged down in the horn. And I could see the audience, the popcorn meter, the people being a little bit lower on this. Actually, a significant amount lower. I'm going to go with the 72 for the people.
Okay,
87, 72.
Before we get too far into this, Luke, the way you're talking, it sounds like you like this more than I thought, and I'm very excited to get into your reviews. The fact that I'm going to go ahead and go here, Keith, because I imagine I'm going next. The fact that you think the audience is going to like this less than the critics, I think to me is shocking, because the critics are snobs, right? And, you know, hoity-toity book people. I think those are the same group of people, critics, book people. And I think that there's a lot that differentiates itself from the book that makes this a negative. And I think the average Joe, like you or me or whoever, who's just got a penis or a heart, will enjoy watching this movie. Or a heart. Yeah. Because they tug at it, right? They tug at both.
There was some tugging.
At both of those things.
Yeah.
So I think that the audience is going to be higher than the critics. I'm going to say 80. Damn it. 4 audience. I'm going to say 60 critics. I think you're going to shit on this.
Okay. Interesting. Future man. We got like I said, the spectrum on this is unpredictable. Could be anywhere.
Yeah, I'm almost leaning more towards Lucas because of what we talked about with the cinematography and the shots. There's a lot of stuff that critics would like, and the story, it wasn't like the story was a bad story at all. Man, God. I'll go critics a 7.5. Audiences, you never fucking know with an audience. I'm starting to figure that out.
This is true.
99.
I mean, yeah, dude. Some of the movies they give high ratings to, it's like, what are we watching here? And some ones they give low to, it's like, what do you guys miss? This one could go either way though, because there are audiences like my wife who wanted to watch this movie, and she was so bored within the first hour that she didn't even care to watch the last hour, which was the actual good part, and really the whole story. And then there's the audiences who just wanted to watch it because Margot Robbie has sex. You know, there's Jacob Elordi fans. I'm not gonna go too far from the fucking critics. I'm just gonna say 7.2. For the audience.
A little bit lower though than the audience.
Is that what I said as well? 72.
That is what you said. Yeah. What do you got for us, Lucas?
That means that Keith and I will tie. Wait, did you say 80 for the critics or for the people?
7.5 for the critics.
Sorry, 80 for the people. Lane.
I said 64. Or I said 84 for the audience.
Okay. So Keith and I will share the audience. They came in at a 76, so we had it surrounded pretty good as a collective. Not surprising, kind of, yeah, right where I was thinking. Lane will absolutely wipe the floor with us on the critics score. They come in at a 58, a rotten tomato. A rotten tomato. And I don't know about that. That's a little weird. But I think, Lane, again, though, you nailed the reasoning. So here's the very first critic, or here's the critic consensus thing on Rotten Tomatoes. It says, liberally adapting Emily Brant's classic story with a heavy dose of carnality and chic stylization, Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights might not be the stuff of high literature, but it is a visually vibrant pleasure. So it sounds like the critics did knock it for its adaptation rather than its actual merits, as its own film, which is kind of ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah, because they also agree that it is, visually a very, pleasurable movie. So, all right, so I'm gonna give my score here. This is a tough one. I just don't know where to go. Because in many ways I liked this movie a lot. I was highly entertained by many aspects of it. I thought it was visually just beautiful. The acting was awesome. I thought some of the character journeys were awesome. I thought just the whole thing was generally pretty awesome. I probably could have done with scaling down the horniness a bit. I don't know that I need it to be that horny. Obviously that is part of what the story is, right? That these people have this uncontrollable like lust for each other. So I'm not going to knock it too much for that. I did find myself frustrated at times with just what was going on between the two of them, and eventually, like, their stalemate leads to like her starving herself to death, right? And so it's frustrating because I was always kind of cheering for them to to figure it out, get it together. So, but overall, really liked the movie. Visually, very cool. The music was awesome. Costumes, the acting, all like technically just a pretty sound movie. I'm gonna go with an 8.1.
Interesting. Mr. Good?
Lucas, that does surprise me. An 8.1 is pretty high.
I like this.
You're saying it's a great movie.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty great movie. It's a pretty great movie in a lot of respects.
I think
There's some
that this movie did
mostly good.
a really good job of coming out and making a splash as far as marketing goes. I knew what this movie was from the moment I saw
Marketing
it.
was pretty easy. Let's show a bunch of trailers of Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie fondling each other.
Yeah, and just being hot, right? And so when you go into a movie like that,
I'm in.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yep. You're in, but your expectations aren't very high. I think that this movie at least tackled some interesting dynamics as far as the dad and the husband and the cheating, and she dies, and the Nelly servant character. I enjoyed my time with this movie. I didn't like the characters, but I liked the situations they were in. I like the costumes. I like the set pieces. I think this movie was really, really good. I'm going to give it a 7.7. I enjoyed my time.
Wow, I'm higher than you on this one, huh?
Yeah. I enjoyed this more than I thought I would, but there was a lot of stupid stuff as well. Like, why was this husband okay with this? Where did the money come from? There's a lot of
those things didn't bother me.
It bothered. I mean, it didn't bother me, but it was just like,
I think that he knew he outkicked his coverage, and he probably didn't have a lot of other options.
Yeah, and she was pregnant with his kid.
Sure, but I think that there was a lot of things that was holding this back. But I think the source material that they did a really good job of making it a 2026 entertaining movie. I thought this was really good, especially remember, we're three straight dudes in our 30s watching a romance movie, right? So like the fact that we're giving this an 8 point whatever and a 7.7, this is a good movie, a really good movie.
I'd like to amend my score.
Okay. You're going from 8.1, immediately amending. What are you thinking?
To a 7.9.
Okay.
Not quite great.
I'm trying because I am trying to think about how I was feeling while I was watching the movie. And there were stretches where I was like, come on, that's
yep. There are times.
That's a good lead in. I think that's a good
but it was really good.
I want to be sub 8. That's my thought.
I think that leads into my review/score. Yeah, the first hour was incredibly boring. It was just kind of like it was just like I can't even think of the movies that I'm thinking of because I haven't watched any of them, and if I have, it's been a really long fucking time. But like those just love stories of these kids grew up and they fell in love and they have their little separation, they come back together. Like that's what this movie was. But the first hour was like it's the boring cliches of it. It wasn't too much exciting. Like they get stuck in the rain and then they come home and the dad beats them. And it's like, all right, like sure.
I'll protect you forever.
I'll protect you forever. It was just very like boring. It was just meh. The last hour was pretty fucking intriguing. And when it took a darker turn, I was like, all right, now we're getting somewhere. Like now let's see where this goes. And it, like I said, it didn't go exactly where I kind of wanted it to go, but it definitely got it got weird.
Got weird.
It got dark. It turned into a lot way different than I thought that it was going. And I did actually enjoy the last half, but the first half was so boring that it does knock my score. Overall, though, I will say it was a good movie, and much better than I expected, honestly. So I will give it a 7, straight 7.
Fair.
I can appreciate that.
I think we're all right in the ballpark of where this movie deserves to be.
It has its faults, but it also has a lot of high points.
There was a lot of good that this movie did.
Yeah.
And I like that, I'm sure Saltburn did well, which is why they gave her this movie to get a little bit bigger budget. This movie obviously did well, and now we're going to get more of
I can't
this
imagine
kind
how
of
fucking
weird.
horny the next movie's gonna be.
That's what
My
I'm saying.
God.
We're going to get
Holy
more of this
shit.
weird, horny movie, and I'm very excited to see what Emerald Fennell does.
A woman, by the way.
Yep, I know. I knew that.
Yeah. Okay.
With that money, because for me, even though both movies are very weird, 2 for 2. I like them both.
Pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
Saltburn, as I look back on it, I like it less.
I like it more.
I think in the time I
Saltburn
enjoy.
Fucking weird.
But I mean, I like it more because I forget about the fact that he fucked the grave and then he licked the spoilers. We're at an hour and 22, and then he licked the jizz off the
sink or the bathtub.
Bathtub. Yeah. So it gets gross, but
and then he hangs dong at the end of the movie for
and dance around. That part was cool. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's movies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm very excited to get into 2026. I feel like this is the start of something a little exciting. We got a lot of movies to get into this year, and we'll be there the entire way. Keith, Luke, thank you so much. Until next episode, cheers.
Cheers,
boys.